If there was one question that I would say is the most important question to ask ourselves anytime we find that we're caught in a negative thinking pattern about our bodies is it my body that's the problem, or is it my thinking about my body? And this is a deep question. It requires contemplation. It requires some stillness. And when we're really caught in our thinking, so hint, it can feel very real that our body is the problem. And what I've found for myself through my own personal inquiry into this is that it's always my thinking, always my thinking in any given moment. So the first indicator is as to whether we're caught in some thinking that's causing us stress or suffering is to notice what is happening in our bodies. What are the emotions that we're feeling, and what are the physical sensations? And so this requires some stillness. It requires us to slow down. But our emotions and those physical sensations tend to be the loudest. So by physical sensations, I mean things like, do I feel my heart starting to beat faster? Do I feel maybe some shallowness of breath? Do I feel a contraction like in my body? Are my shoulders up? Is my jaw tight? Do I feel a tightness in my stomach or like a sinking feeling in my stomach? These are all kind of physical sensations. Emotionally, do I feel anxiety? Do I feel stressed? Do I feel sadness? Do I feel, insecure? So these emotions that really feel like they bring us down, that's what we want to pay attention to. And so when we're feeling these things, the second part of it is to look to our thinking. So what am I now thinking about my body, about, what other people are thinking about my body in that moment? And there's going to be some thoughts that are present that are very fearful, that are judgmental, that are comparative. And so to notice those thoughts. And then here's was a little bit more the tricky part. If we can take a moment and notice, what is it that we're thinking in our body? So, my body's too fat, it's ugly, I'm never going to find anybody like a partner because of the way my body looks, like whatever it may be. And now imagine for a moment if we were to just close our eyes and think, how would I be feeling about my body? What would my experience be in this moment regarding my body if I didn't have those thoughts going through my mind? And this, again, it's tricky. It takes some stillness. It takes some contemplation. It takes some meditation. But just imagine it. Close the eyes, slow down. And then feel the difference. So now notice, how do I feel in my body? Maybe I feel a little bit more relaxed. Maybe I feel a little bit more open. Perhaps my emotions are neutralized. Maybe I'm not really experiencing any emotions. Maybe I feel good or happy. I mean, that might be a stretch, but a lot of times we can move to neutrality. And really notice it. If I didn't have these thoughts present, if these judgments weren't present, how would I be interacting with my body? How would I be feeling about it? What would I be doing? And then really start to see that if it was truly my body that was the problem, how could I be feeling so different? I like to think of you've often, if you've heard about meditation, you hear about thoughts as like clouds moving through the sky. What I like to think about is when we look at our bodies and we feel really bad about them, it's like these clouds, these thoughts have accumulated. And they're so thick that we don't really experience the reality of what's underneath them, of what the truth is about our bodies. And the truth is really that our bodies are quite neutral until we layer judgments and beliefs and fears on top of them. So this is an inquiry question from the work of Byron Katie. And this is essentially what we're kind of, I'm explaining right now, is who would I be without the thought? What would I be experiencing, or how would I be feeling about my body without these thoughts and judgments? So this process is, the first step is to really become aware of our thinking, to even notice that our thinking, that's what's happening when we're feeling the stress, the tension, the anxiety, and to really start to look at our thinking. And, another piece of it, another phase of it is really questioning the validity of it, which is a whole other process. But really, we can just start to take this piece and notice, if I didn't have these thoughts, how would I be feeling? Because that gets to the root of where our suffering is. That it's not the body itself. It's not how it looks. That's the problem, because we think it's the problem. But it's what we've layered on top of it.